Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick video to test this microphone out and to introduce you to my co-host, Alexa. What's anarchism?
I'd rather not answer that.
Alexa, can you define anarchism, please?
The word anarchism means a political theory favouring the abolition of governments.
Well, thank you for actually doing something. So I thought I'd do a quick video just to give you an update on the Lindsay Shepherd situation. And I'm recording it this way because I wanted to test out this microphone that I'm going to be using out and about to see what the sound quality is like. Hopefully I can interview some people on the street or something like that, and maybe I can get some interesting content. But this is another statement from Laurier University, where they've performed, apparently on the 18th of December this was, an independent fact-finding report. This is very interesting because this independent fact-finder has found that Lindsay Shepherd did nothing wrong, but we already knew that. So they say that they hired an external fact-finder with expertise in human resources issues and received a report that they are taking decisive action to ensure that these events will not be repeated. And just a quick word to anyone at a college or university, particularly Laurier in fact, but any college or university, if you are called into some kind of social justice tribunal in which you think you are going to be made to answer for progressive values and adhere to their standards, do record it. Just do exactly what Lindsay did on your phone, on your laptop, whatever, however you can do it. Just record everything you can and put it on the internet and send it to me or literally anyone else, because we want to see them operating and the public need to see how they operate. Because as this independent report shows, Lindsay did absolutely nothing wrong, and we need to keep exposing these people for what they are. So they say that there were numerous errors in judgment made in the handling of the meeting with Miss Lindsay Shepherd, the TA of the tutorial in question. In fact, the meeting should never have happened at all. No formal complaint nor informal concern relative to a Laurier policy was registered about the screening of the video. This is confirmed in the fact-finding report. So the question is, how did they know? Who was the informant? Who went and told them that Lindsay Shepherd had broken the rules of social justice and dared show Jordan Peterson in the classroom? How did they know? The errors in judgment were compounded by a misapplication of existing university policies and procedures. Yes, they were completely full of shit. And legally as well, claiming that what Lindsay had done was somehow a violation of Canada's laws, which it wasn't. Basic guidelines and best practices on how to appropriately execute roles and responsibilities of staff and faculty were ignored or not understood. Shouldn't there be some kind of disciplinary procedure for the professors involved? You would think that them putting the goals of social justice over the welfare of the students and staff under their command should be something you should really worry about. Procedures and how to apply university policies and under what circumstances were not followed. The training of key individuals to meet expectations of the university in addressing the issues such as this was not sufficient and must be improved. But do you not think that this goes a little bit deeper than that? I mean, it's obvious that these people had an agenda. The people interrogating Lindsay had an agenda. And it's obvious that she already knew that that would be the case, which is why she felt the need to film it. But, I mean, nothing's going to happen. They're going to carry on with their jobs. They're not even going to be disciplined by the sound of it. And so they're basically like, we're on our honour not to do anything. We swear, Governor. It's like, okay, but literally, if you are ever involved in any of this, record it. Just make sure they can't get away with it, because they will if you let them. They say that there was no wrongdoing on the part of Miss Shepherd in showing the clip from TVO in her tutorial. The clip was for the purposes of academic discussion in a reasonable classroom teaching tool. Any instructional material needs to be grounded in the appropriate academic underpinnings to put it in context for the relevance of the learning outcomes of the course. The ensuing discussion also needed to be handled properly. We have no reason to believe this discussion was not handled well in the tutorial in question. I have apologised to Miss Shepherd publicly, as has Dr. Rambukkana, her supervising professor. The university has conveyed to her today the results of the fact-finding report to make sure she understands it is clear that she was not involved in any wrongdoing. Good. The university is taking concrete steps to make sure that these changes don't happen again. Well, what exactly is happening? How exactly are you going to do this? I mean, Rambukkana admitted in his apology that he was basically a zealot for social justice and was using it to put her through what amounts to an inquisition. How are you making changes to make sure that won't happen again? I actually want details here, not just you saying, well, we promise it won't happen twice. Well, that's great. I mean, I'll just take your fucking word for it then, shall I? It has been made clear to those who were involved in the meeting with Miss Shepherd that their conduct does not meet the high standards I set for staff and faculty. Oh, really? Really? Bullying a young lady to tears over her being, quote, problematic in a classroom from a social justice position actually doesn't meet the high standards you set. Wow, it's amazing how they thought it did at the time, or at least they must have thought they could get away with it. One key improvement highlighted is the need to enhance our faculty and TA training. Is that the key improvement that's needed? Is it really? Or is it this weird religious commitment to the concept of social justice that nobody seems to be adequately able to properly define? Alexa, define social justice.
Social justice is defined as fairness in society.
Pretty fucking vague, isn't it? How exactly are you going to ensure fairness in society, especially when it results in such unfair things like the inquisition against Lindsay Shepherd? I mean, what does fairness in society even mean? As far as I can tell, social justice, the best you could ever hope for when going for a concept like social justice is to make sure that everyone has the same rules apply to them equally, which is the opposite of what social justice advocates actually want. I mean, you must understand the racial and gendered hierarchies in classrooms that are being pushed by dozens of professors. We see this all the time. The progressive stack that is being enacted in Canadian universities more than anywhere else, as far as I'm aware. How is that justice? How is that fairness? But it doesn't matter, does it? It really doesn't fucking matter. What you want, and all you want, is for this to just go away. So Deborah McClatchy is the president and vice chancellor of Wilfrid Laurier University, and she skips over, well, she goes through the commitment to academic freedom, which, I mean, I assume there is a part of her that recognises that academic freedom is important, and says, today we turn the page on a very unfortunate incident. We are here to make sure it does not happen again. We're here to put an end to the ongoing politicization of the issue. Well, I think that you'll find the problem is the politicization of other issues by advocates of social justice. People who politicize race, gender and sexuality, such as Ram Buchanan here, are the problem. You're not going to be able to not politicize this issue while they are busy politicizing their classrooms with this issue. All they need to do is present the facts as impartially as possible. People do not need to be told how to interpret them. They do not need to treat 18-year-old, 20-year-old students as if they are 5-year-old children unable to make their own decisions and interpretations of the material. Just tell them what is factually accurate. Tell them the underlying theories and leave it at that, if you literally can't help it. But honestly, I have no idea how you think this isn't going to be politicized again in future. The whole point of the social justice movement is to politicize things that should not be political, that should not be categorizations by which people should be politicized. We should not be politicizing people's race and gender and sexuality and trans status or whatever else it is you wish to politicize. And until that stops, this isn't going to stop. And until this isn't going to stop, I'm not going to stop making your lives a fucking misery.